Social prospecting and affluent spheres of influence is what cold calling was all about 25, 30 years ago. It's what seminars were all about 15 some odd years ago. And 95% of advisors aren't capitalizing on this opportunity. 95%. And the old saying is, successful people are those that consistently do what the average person will not or cannot do. The number one event, a small social event, these intimate events. This is no coincidence, you see. The affluent want to have a business and a social relationship with you. They want to know you personally. This is all about trust. The second leading event is an informational event, but that can only be done quarterly. You can't do it as regularly, and they're much less likely to bring a guest. Bringing a guest to a small, fun event is by far and away your number one rated activity. Now, there's three major benefits to doing this. Three big, huge benefits. One is you're showing appreciation to your affluent clients. This strengthens the relationship. And in our measurement, every metrics we measure in our research is rated higher from a performance standing when you have a personal, a social relationship with your affluent clientele. And this is a perfect venue for this. And you see, being a good financial professional in today's environment is expected. That's a hygiene factor. To strengthen the relationship, we need to get personal, and these events are the perfect venue for that. Second, it's getting personal introductions, you see. Getting personal, 83% of your affluent clients are happy to personally introduce you to somebody within their 7 spheres of influence. Now, obviously, you have to source names in their spheres of influence and ask them to bring, why don't you bring Kevin Nichols to this wine tasting and his wife Michelle? They would love it. But 83% are happy to do it. And see, personal introductions is the number one way that today's affluent have discovered their financial advisor. Not through referrals. It's through personal introductions. Now, the third is you create affluent buzz. You see, the affluent make their decisions through word of mouth. People talk, and affluent people predominantly make their decisions through word of mouth. So you bring a digital camera, you take photos of the event, you memorialize the event, all in a fun spirit. We've even had advisors use digital video footage and put it on YouTube, and it gets viral. That gets passed around. So you're creating that buzz. And what this buzz does also, other prospects in the affluent circles are wondering, why isn't my advisor doing this sort of a thing? Now, the invite. This is important. You want to pick up the phone yourself and personally call the selected clients that you think might enjoy this event, whether it's a cooking, you're having some chef at a cooking class, or wine tasting, a golf event, a car event, doesn't matter. But you're emphasizing, Matt, you're a good client. We really like working with you and Sandy. This is all fun. And by the way, that colleague of yours, Kevin Nichols, why don't you bring Kevin and Michelle along? We'd like to meet them anyway, and we're just going to have fun. And so I've sourced the names. Then I'm going to circle back. I say, well, listen, Matt, we'll call you back. Why don't I call you, about 3 or 4 days and see if it's okay if you've gotten in touch with Kevin and Michelle and they're being able to make it. So you're taking a head count. You're circling back. But you're doing this very, very personally. Then, the ideas for events are endless, basically. I mean, this is just a small sampling. You really want to be creative. Just a few weeks ago, we had an advisor, at one of our workshops who's been doing extremely well. Now, this advisor claims he's shy, doesn't like socializing, and yet he did 100 social events last year. And it's the only marketing activity he does, and he's a huge producer. And he says he does these structured events because he's shy. And, his wife helps him. She obviously isn't as shy, but it's all fun. They don't talk business at all. Sometimes it's just dinner. Sometimes it's dinner with a couple of couples. Sometimes it's a big event like something you'll see here. But, this is, get creative. Do things that you like to do, that your clients enjoy doing, so everybody is having fun. And that's how you create the affluent buzz. Now, I got to tell you this story. So we've had one of our clients, and he's a good old boy, down there in Mississippi, and he likes skeet shooting, and a number of his affluent clients like skeet shooting. So lo and behold, for about $55, he holds a shooting event. Well, really, it's maybe a little more than 55 because then they had barbecue afterwards with the spouses. But so he had 6 clients who liked to shoot. Each of them was to bring a buddy whose names he sourced who liked to shoot. He had a good friend from high school who was a sharpshooter in the FBI there. And the sharpshooter, he stands on the advisor stands on a crate and basically says, hey, these are 6 of my best clients who like to shoot. This is a buddy shoot. Each one of you are their buddies. I'm not talking any business at all, so don't even try to talk business to me. Jack over here is a sharpshooter with the FBI, and if every one of you don't have a blast here shooting and improve your shooting, then it's on you. And then they went out and they had a wonderful time, and of those 6 that were in attendance as guests, 4 of them had appointments within the next week for a face-to-face follow-up, and they became clients. So it doesn't have to be expensive, and this has to be creative. Now, I wouldn't go to a shooting event. I don't shoot. But, so this is just a small sampling of what you can do with this. Now, during the event, and this is what, and by the way, this is what this, in the shooting event, this advisor was very astute. He was a dumb like a fox rainmaker. His eyes and ears were opened. He spent the majority of his time listening. And because he said we're not going to talk business, sure enough, the buddies who are skeet shooting are beginning to say, so what do you really do? What's your relationship with Jack or Bob or whomever? And he would just be basically saying, we just handle their financial affairs, oversee their financial affairs, and then they'd ask another question, and he'd close. He said, this isn't the point. This isn't the time talking. We're not talking about business here, but let's grab lunch next week. Let's grab a breakfast. And those seeds were planted. So you want to plant those seeds. Now, not all the time are you going to get these seeds so well planted as they did at this shooting event that you're going to have the follow-ups immediately. Sometimes you're going to have to follow up yourself. And it's important to really look at what type of follow-up do you do? Well, here we've analyzed this, and we see the profile of affluent prospects that'll come to your guests as guests. Break down into 6 categories. You got the warm and fuzzy. And the warm and fuzzy were really, that was at the shooting event. They were all warm and fuzzy. They were having a blast. They were drinking Gatorade, I think. They weren't drinking beer. They were drinking Gatorade, as I remember, as they were shooting. They had an expert there helping them. And it was easy to have a follow-up business lunch. And, there are people who are only talking about business. So, then you have an office meeting for there are people who are on guard. They're sort of introverted. They're not going to really let you get to know them. Well, then you need to make a follow-up in a social capacity. You've had the digital camera, whether you're going to do something social or, it's got to be something social because you have to start, breaking through that barrier and developing the relationship. And now you have the middle of the road guest. Not quite warm, fuzzy, but they're more open than the people who are kind of guarded. And again, they need a social follow-up. And then you got that know-it-all, and we all know those people. They're so full of themselves. They have the answer to everything. They just talk. And, you have to bite your tongue to sort of develop rapport with them. Well, the follow-up with them is going to be social, but immediately you're flipping that into a business meeting. You're bringing them into your office and showing them your level of expertise. And then you got the jerk. And you know what? Don't waste your time. Nobody wants a jerk. You don't follow up with a jerk. So there you got it. Warm, fuzzy, blatantly business, on guard, middle of the road, the know-it-all, and then the jerk. 5 of those 6 are opportunities.